So we have just finished the podcast.
Hmm.
I'm trying to build some resources for students and interns to make more usage and effectiveness as an intern or as a student. So
Absolutely.
for you, what would be something that an intern or student demonstrates that would take them from being just an intern to hireable?
Yeah. First of all, I love that you're doing this because one of my biggest passions is kind of giving back to younger coaches and making this more of like, I guess, an accessible career field because I feel like not a lot of people, well, I guess now a lot of people know about it, but back when I was starting out, I didn't really realize that this could be like a career. Um, The biggest thing that I always say, and it kind of sounds crappy when I explain it, but it's like thinking a step ahead of your coach. So if I have like a young coach who's kind of following me along with, let's say, track and field, and they know that track and field comes in staggered times. So at 5:30, I have men's cross country. At 6 o'clock, I have vertical jumpers coming in. At 6:30, I have sprinters coming in. And like the throwers were there from 3 p.m. to like 7 p.m. At some point you see that I'm going to have like everybody's overlapping, right? We're kind of all kind of shifting up and down the weight room. Thankfully, I have a large weight room. But if you're somebody that's like, all right, I'm in Team Builder or I'm in Perch, whichever platform their lift is on, let me go through it and see if I can set anything up in a specific area before we get started. And that way, because I'm somebody, I teach my athletes to set up their own stuff, mostly because of how the staggered start goes. So it's like if I'm coaching the throwers and then the men's cross country team comes in on the other side, it's not easy for me to stop coaching them, go set up and come back to coaching and feel like I'm giving them my best self. That's just a me thing and kind of trying to be like a perfectionist and do everything that I possibly can at the same time. But if you can be a step ahead and set those things up for me, awesome. If you can be a step ahead of me in rallying up the troops and kind of saying like, all right, like we're going to have some great energy today, getting to know our student athletes, that's the biggest thing for me is being a step ahead and kind of thinking ahead and how you can be helpful. And then making sure that the athletes know when you're there and more importantly, know when you're not there. So if you call in for like a sick day and my athletes come up to me and be like, yo, where's Coach Manny today? Like we were excited to see him. It's a Friday. We're trying to get after it. And if they feel your absence, then I know that you're doing well. And that's like a hireable, you make an impact just by being there, then you already have it. That's something that you can't teach. And I try and kind of tell our interns all the time, hey, be a presence on the floor. It doesn't have to be like a rah rah in their face presence. And I'm not trying to make a carbon copy of myself. Like I said on the podcast, I'm annoying. And I will be annoying because I'm trying to get them to like open up and like be goofy with me a little bit sometimes in the weight room to get them to a place where they enjoy coming in. But for them, if they're kind of like the more quiet person that asks them questions about like, hey, how's your day? And don't give me the short answer, give me the long answer. And it makes like the athletes feel heard and seen and understood. 100%, they're already miles ahead of somebody who's got all the book smarts but can't relate to an athlete.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm.
And what are some, again, behaviors that they'll demonstrate that you feel make them effective?
I feel like I've said it. I feel like I have used this word a bunch of times, but the ability to be vulnerable is really like a superpower. So it doesn't mean like being vulnerable, like oversharing your whole life story and like trauma dumping on somebody, but being vulnerable in the sense of like you have absolutely no shame in being yourself and showing your personality. And not everybody's going to be the same. Like if you're somebody, um, I'm trying to think yeah, like my kid who loves fly fishing. Like if you're gonna come out here and be like, I am really big on fly fishing and I barbell bench press and I overhead press so I could throw my fly further. Cool. Own that and like own the parts of your personality that you're super passionate about. Because if you're faking it, you're going to get burnt out so quickly in this career. If you don't have like a personality that you're really proud of, or like if you don't feel like you can be yourself in a weight room, you have to find the ways that you can put your flair on all of your stuff. So for me, like I feel like I'm a quick thinker. Like I don't skip a beat. A lot of my kids are like intimidated by me. And I don't know why they always explain or they always describe me as intimidating. But at the same time, they also know that like if they need a beat, like if they need a second where they need me to like come down to earth with them and be like, hey, I'm having a tough day. Absolutely. I'm locked in on you. I'm not like much of a physical touch person, but it's like if you need a hug, if you need me to put my hands on your shoulders, if you need to be locked in with me right here, I will do that for you because I can get to a place where I'm really vulnerable personally. but I also can be really vulnerable in like being a goofball and being able to almost make fun of myself on a larger scale in front of like a big team just to rile them up.
Yeah. And in terms of when students and interns are looking for a place that is suited for them and will help them grow to the best of or to where they want to be in the industry, how do you recommend they do the research around that program and choose the right mentor for them and contact them?
I don't think that there's any issue with like a cold email. It's just like, I mean, I get a Mr. Bernal email like 2 or 3 times a semester. That's like, do your research obviously on like who you're emailing, maybe like the current university that they're at, or, if they prefer like a male or female pronoun, like all that kind of stuff. But like also just use coach. Stop saying Mrs. I'm not married. But I would say reaching out to places where you feel like even doing researches on the coaches coming on podcasts like this and kind of being open about the type of coach that they are, if you can find that out, but also interviewing the interviewer. So like when you're reaching out to them and if you end up getting like kind of like that 20-minute phone call interview, kind of asking them, how do you see an intern being successful or making an impact with your program? Where do you feel like I would be able to fill in the gaps? Knowing what you know about me off my resume, where do you feel like I could fill in the gaps? What do you feel like is maybe lacking in the program? Maybe it's presence. Like for us, it's the amount of strength coaches to the amount of athletes is insane. So that's why it's really valuable to me that they make their presence known to our athletes. So that's the number one thing that I would say. Ask where you can be of use and work towards that. Don't let an internship director use you for all you've got and not teach you everything that they possibly can. There are no secrets in this field. There shouldn't be, at least. Where it's like, I don't think that I've done anything like this secret superpower type of thing that I wouldn't share with somebody else. And if you have somebody who's like, oh yeah, no, that's like a secret sauce recipe, then there's no reason in being there if they're going to keep it a secret, right? So I don't know. There are certain things, of course, I appreciate about coaches being like, hey, don't share this with everybody you know. Like, I would rather only share this piece of information or this PDF document with people in my coaching
Mm,
circle. That's completely different. But as far as like other like secrets of how to conduct yourself or how to program and stuff like that, if you're with people who are not willing to teach you, then you're in the wrong place and they're just looking for hands and eyes and people who set up and break down. But if you're beyond that, make sure that you make that known early on.
yeah. No, I think that's an important quality to look for in internships.
Hmm.
I think Clemson does a really good job of this, where they lay out everything that you're going to learn in
Yep,
that
I
program.
agree.
But yeah, have a look at that as well when you're make sure that they have a curriculum. Like I
Yes.
think that's very important to identify as soon as you reach out to people and
Yeah,
coaches.
I agree.
What is a piece of advice or a conversation that you had as an intern that kind of shaped your career?
I feel like I vaguely, I don't want to say I vaguely remember this conversation, but I remember having a moment, my first internship at Reach Your Potential training with Bobby Smith and Adam Fight. And I was in an internship class of, I want to say 4 or 5 people, and I was the only female in the group. And I knew that I wanted to coach college kids, but I wasn't sure if that was like my direct, like I didn't know if I wanted to stay private or if I wanted to go fully into the collegiate sector. And I remember having a moment, I want to say, with Coach Fight, where it was like, you are showing the potential of like the dedication and the drive to really do this. And you can't hold yourself back to be liked by the people around you.
Mm,
So like I think I created a really great relationship with the guys that I interned with. There's at least like 1 to 2 of them that I could reach out to now and we can like have a good laugh and probably still have a great conversation about like the hours we worked. I'm not gonna lie, like that was I drove an hour out to that internship every day. I was like there at like 4:45 in the morning, but I loved doing it. Right. So like if I'm going to excel and maybe look like a know-it-all or look like a try hard or blow hard, like you said earlier, then that's what I'm going to do because that's what the people who are going to help put me in the right rooms or the people who are sharing my name in the rooms that I'm not in, that's what they see in me. And they see that that I can go far. I don't have to slow myself down for the people next to me. And if it makes you look like a know-it-all, then it makes you look like a know-it-all. Anybody who's going to kind of, we said it before, anybody who's going to hate on you, if they're spending the energy hating on you instead of trying to get better, maybe they would be right next to you.
Yeah. No, I agree. Thank you so much for doing this
Yeah,
piece as
absolutely.
well.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Peace.
So yeah.